Hello everyone, welcome back to my podcast. This is Alice in Industryland. Woo! So today we have a special guest next to me. Can you introduce yourself to our audience, please?
Hi guys, my name is Chau. I am a content creator in the fashion and the food industry.
Woo! Welcome to our channel. It's so exciting to have a content creator because we had other guests who are coming in as a very specific industry like modeling, fashion models, but it's really good to have someone who is all-rounder, who does fashion and also food. Can you talk about a little bit of how you come up with different contents for your channel?
So basically, like in the past, like me and Alex have met each other in the fashion industry, and just from working those many years, and learning more about different aspects of what people think in creativity, you kind of learn to grasp on and puzzle pieces that you enjoy and you like. So I've definitely learned a lot of inspiration from watching others, especially like you too, doing this podcast as well. Back in 2019, I started up an agency, as you know from when we've met. Started up an agency in the fashion world where I connected models, photographers, people, fashion designers, and just doing the overall PR. And then eventually it got to the point where I was very like, what am I gonna do for myself? Like, I'm helping other people become more creative, but what can I do for myself? So I eventually got into starting up a clothing brand. And that was when I got to direct my own art. And then eventually I got into doing food content because of how much I love food. So especially around both of those industries, I love to create. Doesn't matter what the theme is, I just love to create. I just love doing things, just doing everything, learning about everything. So
wow,
yeah.
That's really cool. I love the fact that you get inspiration from not only fashion but with everything. So thanks for sharing your journey a little bit with us. In terms of food content, I know it's hard to come up with different recipes every time. Can you share a little bit about where you get the inspiration for food specifically?
I love creating food in more of the Asian fusion era, just because growing up, I've always lived with my mom and my grandma, and growing up and just watching them do cooking, it definitely inspired me to be like a woman boss on my own, learning how to cook, and also cooking appealing food that I enjoy waking up and eating, and like hopefully I can pass down to my children one day. So definitely from learning more modernized food recipes now, especially watching Gordon Ramsay nonstop in my sleep, it's the best. I don't know, whatever's good, good. And if like I will think of one ingredient and what I can pair with this ingredient, or how I can make it sweet or savory. But yeah, no, I think it's great. And who knows? I mean, I've cooked for some people and I don't know if they're being nice and saying it's good, but personally I think it's great. So I mean,
yeah.
I'm pretty happy learning more ingredients, more recipes, and yeah, eventually seeing where this takes me, my OnlyFans content, and learning how to basically film different angles and learn more about filming my own content. And I think that's the best way to do it, is just at home, bored and cooking food and putting on a good movie and, I don't know, enjoying it.
Oh, cool. Wow.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, I mean, it's so interesting how you talked about learning different angles, because not many people think about it when they see the content. They're like, oh, that looks very easy. You just cook and you just film, right?
Yeah.
That's so easy to do. But once you actually film something to best feature what you're doing, you need to really figure out the angles in different scenes, like you're cutting or you're chopping something and putting into the pot or everything. What do you use for your food content?
I use a trusty iPhone. The best, adaptable,
Nice.
an iPhone. And back when I was filming, it was before I learned about all these gadgets to use. I used to use like a lamp and my mouth. I used my mouth.
Okay.
My phone would go into my mouth while I'm chopping something to get a different angle, or I'll lean it against a bunch of pots and pans just to get an angle of me cutting on the side. But now I started investing a little bit more, so I bought myself a stabilizer.
Oh, nice.
Little stabilizer here. And then I
That's
have,
pretty professional gear you're using.
and then I have my tripod, which Amazon has been the greatest because it works really well. And also, if you're ever walking on the streets, you're safe.
That's a great
And then I bought a light.
Oh, wow. That's
Simple.
really small.
Yeah, and you
compact
just
lighting.
clip it on your phone, and you can change the
lightness.
the light, the brightness, the temperature.
Okay.
So it's definitely helped with filming quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. So that goes onto your phone.
Yeah, it goes all on my phone.
Oh, that's pretty handy.
Film from that, and then the stabilizer or the gimbal, I guess is what you call it. I'm still learning how to use this somewhat, but I mean, it's definitely helped me with a lot of clients I've worked with in the food industry. So.
Wow, that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Of course.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people are wondering like what you use to shoot.
My mouth.
Yeah. You guys got it. Yeah, I understand that even with, video shooting, photo shooting, that, people don't know a lot of behind the scenes.
Right.
Because I do that still sometimes.
Yeah.
Put it on the edge of the, fence or something,
You always have to find adaptability being a creative, a content creator, because it's the abnormal that makes things a little bit more intriguing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Oh, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no, of course.
So do you, I know you shared a little bit about the fashion side. I know you're a huge fan of, dressing up and looking great all the time, as she does right now.
Thank you.
So can you share a little bit about your perspective in fashion and then as a creator as well? So when you're creating fashion content, what do you have in mind?
With fashion, I feel like the whole aspect is art. I mean, you either like it or you don't like it. And when I produce or if I wear a certain thing, I do it for myself. I don't have to wake up every morning to impress anybody, nor does anybody else. And if it enjoys you and it boosts your serotonin or your dopamine to wear a bright color or carry an obnoxious purse, then so be it. So with content creating, I just love more of an urbanized, like badass type of vibe, with music and the editing, quick chops, and I don't know, like content creating for fashion is always just fun because you see so many different perspectives of the way people dress or the way you compliment somebody about their fashion and they all of a sudden do a pose or they get super like excited and super kind. Like I think the fashion industry, the moment you show a little bit of love, no matter who you are, they'll show you love back. So, I mean, yeah, fashion's all out of love. It's all out of art.
Yeah, that's really great point that you said about fashion is art. I think that's kind of arguable point for some people because it does involve like functionality to it when you talk about fashion. A lot of content creators or even for influencers or models, that's what they're focused on, like reading the trend, trying to show people what they're capable of and also trying to reflect that in their work.
Right.
So when you're creating fashion content, it's really interesting that you mentioned that you do it for yourself more than anyone else. How do you balance that out? Like, of course, as a content creator, you have to keep in mind of what's in trend. You can't be too out of the round, right? Of fashion, what's in fashion right now. How do you balance the trend and what you want to do in terms of fashion and content creating?
I think it's really interesting to see how much fashion has changed and what the trends are. But I find now, lately, it's been a lot of trends that are within a store rather than originality. So I won't say what stores, but I mean, for example, with me, I would go to a thrift store and find something more basic, find something more affordable, find something with a spec of being different. But I mean, the originality of keeping on trend, like, I mean, modify it to whatever you want to wear, whatever works with you. I don't know. Yes, being a trendsetter is great. It's a good feeling, but also you want to be original and different too. Like, you want to be on trend, but what is that? Who defines what's on trend and what's not?
I think main focus is different depending on what role you play in the industry. From my perspective, being a content creator means you have to get certain results out of the content. So when you're working with another fashion brands for your content creating, as a content creator, they might want to have a certain results out of that content. How do you balance that out from what you want to do and what the expectation is on you?
So usually when I do work with a brand, it's definitely mood boards, color schemes, inspiration, videos and photos. I do ask if they want my creative direction or if they don't, where I have worked with companies where they're okay with me just directing the whole thing, or there's companies where they'll be like, this is my vision, can you achieve it? It's a business to business, right? Everyone wants to be happy. So, I mean, if somebody was going to hire me based on what I had on my portfolio already, they'd know what creative direction I'm in. I want to hear their side and morph that together and see how I can make magic out of both of our perspectives of creation, right? And it's both of us working together and kind of viewing and kind of making changes together. And there's never a specific higher up role when it comes to if I was going to creative content with another brand.
So you like to discuss with your client, discuss with the brand to find the common ground between you and the brand.
So usually I would do like a whole, what's it called? A whole like PowerPoint on like color schemes and like music style, video edit style, moods, like, and just like a whole brand Bible basically, and present that to the client before I actually move forward to see what they think and to kind of get a better visual on what they want before I dive in.
I think that goes with any creative work. You can't really have a solid idea starting from the end just on your own. When you're working with other people, you have to balance it out with who you're working with and trying to find that common ground that you guys are both happy.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a whole process, creative process we have to go through per project.
Yeah, but that's what makes it so much more fun is seeing other people's visions and seeing how people's minds work. And as an artist, and you see this too, as you have a past in photography, it's so cool. Like more and more ideas people throw at you, you're like, wow, why didn't I think of this first? So, I mean, I think the best thing about being a content creator is being around other like visionary content creators too. And like just learning from just different people and learning different ideas and grabbing tips, and that's what my joy is. That's what definitely motivates me into being more creative and wanting to do more different types of content, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, we learn and grow together as a creative.
Absolutely. You're only growing. You're never becoming small ever again. I don't know. That sounds better in my head.
Yeah, so next question I want to ask you is, as a content creator, how do you balance the creative side and also your mental health at the same time? I know it can be a little bit challenging once you're in the industry, but that's definitely a big topic that we can talk about.
You know what? It's I do want to be as raw and authentic as I can be, and I think these past 2 years, I've taken a recharge and a reset on my mental health and everything that I wanted to be. And absolutely, I think I've done a lot of things in my life where I'm happy with where I am, but also I keep wanting to be better and better and better. And the more you start doing creative content or doing other things for other people, you begin to lose yourself in your own creativity. So I spent these past 2 years really spending my time recharging, figuring out what my structural life is going to be. do I want to follow people's rules and let them overcome or take advantage of my craft, or do I want to speculate my craft and keep growing? And I think my mental health has always affected me because I was always thinking there's always going to be better. People are going to want more. People are going to want somebody else. But I also have realized it's like, why am I thinking that? If somebody truly loved me for my work, or if I truly loved my work, then why does everyone else matter? So I think I'm in that path right now. And I'm sure a lot of people are too, where yes, they're creative and happy, but there's always going to be those days where you're kind of in your head and you're like, okay, like what can I keep doing to overgrow like this like little bug in my head that I keep swatting away, that I can keep being better and better. And then I also think of, why can't I be better? Like, why am I letting these little things affect me? Because I always have the choice to be better or do better or even switch careers. I mean, I've done fashion into food, like so random, but I've learned so much amazing stuff. And I think with just me in general, I'm not meant to just stand in one place. I'm meant to keep venturing and keep being better and better at little things that I never thought I would be good at. So I think my mental health is good. It's great. I mean, I'm surviving. I'm doing the things that really feed my soul. But there's also going to always be those days where I'm going to have to recharge. I'm going to have to be at the lowest, because how would you know what the lowest is until you are in it and you know that you never want to feel like that ever in your life again?
That's real. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, because not everyone is comfortable sharing their journey, especially when it doesn't sound that great. But I think the fact that you're willing to open up and share your experience itself, it adds so much value to people who are listening. Because they might be thinking, oh, I'm the only one who's going through this.
Yeah.
Because nobody would like to come up and share and talk about this issue. But mental health is a huge problem, or it could be our main focus. Even for you, you took 2 years of recharging time, which you are using it to focus on your mental health too. So I think it is crucial for everyone to know how to manage and balance that out. So would you have any advice to people who are going through the phase of, maybe I'm not good enough, I'm creative and I'm doing my stuff, but I'm not sure about where I am in my, mental health?
I think my advice would be, overall, for sure, from what I've done, is to recharge. Recharge, figure yourself out, enjoy the little things that you enjoy, and keep like learning things about yourself. Because I feel like with love and loving the things you do, it depends on you. Depends how you want to wake up every morning, what you want to do for your future. And I think the best advice I've ever heard in my entire life when I first started in the fashion industry was, make today the first day of your life. That made me realize I don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. I don't know what a week from now is going to look like, or a month, or a year. Why am I sitting here just waiting and pondering and letting my brain suffocate with all this negativity or all this laziness, where I could just get up and just do it? I can either fail or I could either succeed, but I wouldn't know if I didn't make today the first day of my life. So.
Wow. That's amazing. Wow. I'm actually very mind blown by your original passion. I don't know how to say. Yeah.
I love you.
Girl,
And I haven't seen Alice in a while, so I mean it's very nice to catch up too.
Yes.
I'm very happy.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much.
That was amazing. So in case anyone wants to get a hang of you or chat or reach out to you, what will be the best way to reach out?
I think the best way right now is through Instagram at its.chau. Chau, C-H-A-U. And then I do have a couple videos of my food content, fashion, all posted in my profile there.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for joining our podcast episode. We'll be back with another special guest.
A special guest.
Yeah.
All right.
So stay tuned, like, follow, subscribe. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.